This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
It is Tuesday, and you are locked in here to Meltdown Live. We appreciate you joining us on the show. As always, tons of entertainment topics to get into today on the program. But first, we have to introduce our cast of characters here live in the Culver studio. After a little bit of a technical hiatus yesterday, we did put out a fresh Meltdown episode, but we could not do so live because we didn't have the internet capabilities thanks to some storms rolling through our area. You know how it is sometimes when you're dependent on technology. But today we are here live in the flesh with you, and I am joined, as always, by Tyler Lionel Johns. Tyler, we get a Superman trailer tomorrow. Are you excited about that?
Oh, of course I am. I already saw a little clip that's been leaked. Well, I guess not leaked. James Gunn put it on his social media of crypto jumping up and down. So, you know I love that, and I want more crypto footage.
We will be reacting to this trailer tomorrow, and we have seen a couple of things here from Superman. We got a teaser at one point. We got a actual like in-depth sort of look at the scene of Superman crashing to the ground, being drugged to the Fortress of Solitude, and then a lot of the trailer we had already seen sort of hypercut with that. Obviously, we had the poster. I'm excited to see this, what I think will be a narrative trailer more tomorrow. Not just the spectacle, but a little bit more of characters exchanging dialogue and maybe some story beats. And I'm excited about that, Tyler.
That's what I would expect as well, and I'm excited about it as well. We've gotten a lot of the vibes of James Gunn's DCU and James Gunn's Superman, but not much substance in terms of who's actually going to be in this story and what's happening.
That is correct. We got a trailer yesterday as well before we skedaddled out of here for the day, and that was F1, which is set to be what looks like to be a very much an adrenaline rush. I want to get EG here in on the program. EG, you were part of our trailer reaction yesterday. It's up on the channel right here as we speak. But real quick, what did you think of F1? Because I know that you were already very excited for this. Got a chance to see the trailer yesterday. Has that excitement heightened for you personally?
Absolutely. After watching the trailer, I was hoping it would have the effect that it did, which was I want to immediately go see this movie. This is going to be a winner for me. And it did. It delivered. Yeah,
it's an adrenaline-fueled, like, dramatic, but also I think it's going to have a lot of comedic elements to it, too. Over-the-top production elements with an insane production budget, something like $300 million on this thing. It's got Brad Pitt. It's got a dose of Americana meets sort of the international affair that is F1, and the spectacle of not only the aircraft flying through with Joseph Kosinski, who directed Top Gun Maverick, directing this one, but also all the fireworks and the big, them using actual F1 races to shoot at. And it's just got that level of authenticity and groundedness that makes this a must-see in the theater.
Yeah, it feels like we're getting a look into, I hesitate to say documentary style, but it looks so realistic that it's hard to believe that Brad Pitt isn't an F1 driver.
It is hard to believe that. I'm looking forward to seeing how that back and forth with him and the young gun in F1 works out from a narrative perspective. So that'll be a lot of fun to watch with a big bucket of popcorn for sure. We are actually a little sports heavy today for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is Game 4 tonight for the Dallas Stars and the Winnipeg Jets. And the Stars are up 2-1. They were able to steal one on the road in Game 1. Tonight, they look to protect home ice yet again. And I'm going to be locked in watching that one, and I'm very excited. I am a big Dallas Stars fan, and they're playing exceptionally well right now, and I'm hoping they can go all the way. With that being said, it was another Dallas team that really drew all the headlines last night because the NBA draft lottery took place, and the Dallas Mavericks, a team that I have watched feverishly, fervently, all the other F words. That's not what I don't need to do that again today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is a family show, Tim.
It is a family. F is for family.
it is.
And that is what I'm going
Starring
with.
Bill Burr.
That is correct. Anyway, I'm a big fan of the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know how many more words I need to use to describe that, but for the past 20 plus years, I've watched them religiously, which is the different word than what I was going with. I don't know what's wrong with my brain on this show. Anyway, I'm a big Dallas Mavericks fan, and I've had a really weird relationship with the Dallas Mavericks because a year ago, the Dallas Mavericks were making their push to go to the NBA Finals, where they ended up losing against the Boston Celtics. But still, they got to that best-of-7 series, and things looked up with Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. And next thing you know, we get to an offseason where we signed Klay Thompson. Things are looking good. And then Luka gets hurt. That's not so good. And then Luka gets traded, which was the most shocking, surprising, frustrating, heartbreaking thing. If I ever bring up Luka's name in our household, my daughter's like, oh, not this again.
Remember, that really affected our friendship.
It affected our friendship because you laughed at me, right?
Yeah.
You didn't take it seriously that I was in a state of sadness and heartbreak.
It was such a tender moment that I felt like awarded a laughing emoji.
I'm still not over it. And it's been quite painful. It's been painful for all Dallas Mavericks fans. And then you had the team getting hurt. You
Yeah,
had
that was crazy.
Anthony Davis, who we traded for, get hurt. You had Kyrie Irving get hurt. You had multiple Mavs players get hurt. And they ended up not making it to the actual playoffs. They were in the play-in games, but not the actual playoffs, which is why they were a part of the draft lottery. And last night, with their 1.8% chance, they end up with the number 1 overall draft pick in a year that has a very clear number 1 draft prospect in Cooper Flagg. Mm-hmm. I can't explain it. A lot of people out there are claiming that it's all rigged, that Dallas made a deal to send Luka to a bigger market so that way they would end up getting the number 1 pick, and it was this deal behind the scenes that with the league and all this stuff. There's a lot of theories out there. I don't know. I can't explain it. I can't explain how it happened.
It's unexplainable. And I do think the NBA is benefiting from this so heavily because they need headlines. And Dallas has been providing them headlines.
When the NBA is an entertainment product, it's at its peak.
Yeah.
When it's looked at as being culturally relevant. And the NBA has needed more culturally relevant storylines as of late. The Luka thing was a shot in the arm. Him being traded over to Los Angeles, trade still makes no sense on paper. And I'm still good if Nico Harrison, the general manager of the Mavericks, has shown the door. I'd be perfectly okay with that. But this has fallen into his lap now. He has the number 1 pick. I've said privately I'm surprised he hasn't already, made a trade with the Cleveland Browns or something somehow. I know they're in a different league, but I wouldn't be shocked with Nico Harrison's track record if this pick doesn't end up. Somehow we get Deshaun Watson in exchange for giving them the number 1 pick. I don't know how that would happen.
Even crazier, Wild Thing joins the team.
It would not shock me. None of this would shock me. And if he messes this up, he's just got an outright vendetta for the organization. But Mavs fans are conflicted. They raised ticket prices as well after shipping off Luka Doncic, and now they have the number 1 pick. And you have a chance here for a new trio, a new big 3 there. A rebirth. And I've never abandoned the Dallas Mavericks franchise, but I feel like the Dallas Mavericks franchise abandoned its fans. Like they made enemies of people that we have looked to for guidance, and someone like a Mark Cuban and someone like a Dirk Nowitzki. And, being a diehard Dallas Mavericks fan, it's been really tough watching the organization treat its most loyal fan base, players, previous owner with such disdain and disrespect, only to now be gifted what is a stimulus package, a bailout in the number 1 pick. So I'm conflicted. So we'll be talking a little bit of sports here to end the show, especially I'm going to have E.G., our sports correspondent, here with us in studio telling us a little bit more about Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Until then, we're going to start off with some headlines, and our first headline also lands us in the world of sports as we now know more about ESPN's much-anticipated new streaming service, which will debut this fall. An unlimited plan that includes all ESPN networks and ESPN broadcasts on ABC will be available for $30 a month. Good deal, bad deal. It's another streaming service, standalone streaming service.
How does this affect existing ESPN streaming? So ESPN Plus.
It's a great question, because you would think if someone's currently got a plan that they like, they're going to want to keep the plan that they have, which is a plan that I have. I have a bundle.
Yeah.
So I have Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
Okay.
And so I'm happy with that bundle.
Unrelated question, but so out of all the streaming services you pay for, how much do you actually use? Like, would you say you get a good bang for your buck out of all of them? Because I've got Prime and Max, and I feel like I don't get my money's worth out of it.
So everybody who's watching this, all of us in this room, we all jump from streaming service to streaming service based on what property is the hot thing that we need to watch. We're not just like going home and no matter what, we're watching Peacock tonight. And there is no other option. Peacock is the only thing we'll watch in this household. We are a Peacock household. No one's doing that.
No.
Everyone's just jumping to what's the hot thing? Where's it at? Okay, I'll go there. I'll go there. I'll go there. And then eventually you hit a roadblock. Like, we've been recommended the studio on Apple TV Plus
so many times.
a ton. I refuse to pay for Apple TV Plus because I already pay for all these other things. And what we've learned is if you actually don't pay to support a streaming service, they tend to merge with one you already have.
So true.
So I'm going with that route of like, I just want that library absorbed by something else, and it'll happen soon. But with all that being said, it's a great question. I definitely, it's gotten out of control.
I feel like I do more scrolling on these apps than watching.
Agreed.
Like, not even just like jumping app to app, but just scrolling through and being like, there's so much here. You're overwhelmed with choice to the point where it feels like there's nothing to watch. And then I just say, never mind, and go to YouTube and watch some random video essay. Like, I could be doing that for free.
Yeah. I will not go to a streaming service unless I know what I'm going to click on before I get there.
Agreed. I don't ever scroll these days. I mean, very occasionally, and Prime I never use. I have it, though. Peacock I use the most because it has reality shows I like to just keep on in the background. Netflix is so... Ugh. Netflix drives me insane. Mm-hmm. Because the whole principle behind the sharing households things is ridiculous. I don't have access, but also, if you have two different Wi-Fi routers in your house, you can't have the same Netflix account. So, like, if you have basement Wi-Fi and you are trying to connect to your Netflix account, you have, like, upstairs Wi-Fi, it's going to log you out of the basement every 2 weeks.
You just what you got to do is you've got to get like signal boosters that make sure your basement Wi-Fi and your upstairs Wi-Fi are the same network. I mean, unfortunately, that's the way that you're going to have to tackle that. But it's just ridiculous. So, like,
I agree. I can't use the Netflix, but at home, it's just a whole thing, and it makes zero sense. And I don't understand why they can't just live with the fact that people share passwords.
Yeah. This is a lot of money for a streaming service, $30 a month. And it's going to launch at a time where the sports slate is going to be at its most jam-packed in the fall. I mean, there is no better time to be a sports fan than the fall. You've got all the major sports going at once. You got
baseball,
college football, pro football, baseball's winding down, basketball's starting to ramp up. I mean, the month of October alone, I think, is the greatest month for sports.
Agreed.
Watching. There's so much to absorb. So they're going to be launching at a time where the demand's going to be there. Are people going to shell out $30 a month for this service, especially if they're already paying for it in another way? I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I want to know more details on this because, like I mentioned before, I pay for ESPN Plus by itself. I've paid for that since freshman year of college, I think, and I don't have a bundle. But I don't want to be forced into buying $30 a month worth of ESPN ABC content when I know I just need my $11.99 ESPN.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who are going to be like, you know what? I'm good with just going and getting an antenna. It's a one-time purchase. I'm going to hook it up. We've gotten back to that phase where having a really strong over-the-air antenna has become like having water in the house. It's like something you got to have. Now, if you have the disposable income where you're not keeping up with all these subscriptions getting out of out of control because subscriptions and these streaming services were once provided as an alternative to cable. Of like, this is the cheaper route to go, and you get more of exactly what you want. Well, now if you have all these streaming services, it's way more than cable ever was.
It's way more expensive, and you're still paying for commercials too.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous.
And you're at the mercy of they can hike the prices at any point,
Anytime.
and you're just going to have to deal with it because you've abandoned all other forms of being able to get this content. So, Tyler, if anything jumps out to you or you need to highlight anything, pinpoint anything, please just let us know.
Chat is saying that EG needs to go with a mesh network to avoid her Netflix problem with the basement Wi-Fi and the upstairs Wi-Fi.
I'm not familiar. I'll have to communicate that on.
Something to look into.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with it either, but it's something worth looking into if they say that this will solve that issue.
Interesting.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Just another way to pay for more Netflix.
Right?
Okay, we go to this. E.g., Kim Kardashian.
My girl.
Okay. Delivering emotional testimony today in Paris robbery trial saying, I absolutely did think I was going to die. What has amazed me about this story is that it's gotten coverage on a number of platforms, and most of the comments and most of the reactions are very vile towards
Very vile.
Kim K. Now, we kind of talked about this before the show. You didn't know I was going to bring it up here on the program, but you know, when you're a public figure, especially of the reality TV vein, and you've been a punchline for
Golly, decades now.
your entire public existence for the most part,
Yeah.
I'm not shocked that a lot of people are just sort of like disregarding
Very
her
dismissive.
testimony at all.
Yeah.
But she was very frank there in the testimony as the robbers allegedly held her up and stole her jewelry during an October 3rd, 2016 Paris Fashion Week attempted crime here, where hopefully these alleged robbers are shown justice. She said that she was only wearing a bathrobe. She was zip-tied and her mouth was taped shut while she was in her Paris hotel room. She said, quote, I was certain that that was the moment that he was going to rape me. I absolutely did think I was going to die. And once again, the feedback on social media has been just vile to all of this.
And I remember when this happened, everyone immediately said, no, this is fake. Like, that never happened. That was a PR stunt. And when a situation like that happens, I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if it's a celebrity. I don't care if it's your next door neighbor. That is very traumatic. And there was so much evidence that it actually happened. And we're seeing 9 years later, the trial finally come to pass. But I mean, personally, I can't imagine. And the circumstances around it revealed that it was an inside job with someone on her security team that she thought she could trust had tipped off these people because she was not supposed to be home.
You remember the Me Too movement and all of that?
Yes.
Like, I don't remember Kim Kardashian being even championed during that whole thing, which happened years after the alleged events, because, you know, the whole believe all women and everything, I guess it didn't necessarily pertain to all women.
No,
Kim K.
we still see that though today. It doesn't pertain to everyone, unfortunately. But with this story, I'm glad to see it's finally going to trial. And I know that her mom is there, and the interviews that she did following that, again, with some of her sisters, it's horrendous, that whole thing. And having to explain to, you know, your thought process of in that moment of what you think might happen to you. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a billionaire or it's, you know, your next door neighbor.
A lot of this right now, a lot of the coverage is being dwarfed by the Diddy trial that is currently ongoing. Have you been keeping up with that at all, Tyler? I've been keeping up with a little bit of it.
Little bits and pieces. But yeah, just to add on to what EG was saying, the criticism towards Kim Kardashian after that robbery attempt, it all felt very like, oh no, you deserved it.
You deserved
instead
it.
of just any sort of empathy whatsoever. People immediately jumping to, oh, this is a PR stunt. This is going to be on the TV show. But I, as a Kanye fan at the time,
We got it.
I just want to
No Thunderbolts asterisk needed here. We got
I
it.
just want to stress that. I remember him canceling a lot of tour dates when this happened because he was on I believe it was the St. Pablo tour.
Yeah,
And-
he can't. Yeah, I remember that. It was all over Twitter at the time, and that was what gave some sort of validity to it because people realized, oh gosh, if he's canceling,
Yeah.
it must be pretty serious.
'Cause that was an expensive tour. He had this elaborate like hanging stage, like floating stage set up at all the different venues, and I think he ended up losing money on that tour. But merch ended up bringing it back into the black.
Well, there we have it. We had talked a little bit about the Diddy trial there, and it's weird saying Diddy trial. I always think that that's like a character in Donkey Kong when I say it. Diddy trial, it just sounds like a trial run in Mario Kart with Diddy Kong.
I wonder if Cranky Trial will be called as a witness.
Cranky trial sounds perfect for that. Perfect.
How about Funky Trial?
Okay, you're gonna make me start to laugh, and it's a very serious issue. Cassie.
Yeah,
testifying
testified.
today. Already testified today?
Yeah.
Did you see any of that? Did you hear any of it?
Yeah, I wish I could unhear a lot of it.
Oh,
Very graphic.
A lot of the details are very graphic. Obviously, I didn't know what kind of emotional state Cassie was in when going through all of this, as not only does she get her side of the story to tell, but then the defense gets a chance to sort of invalidate that
Anything
she was
saying.
a victim in any of this, and then
Awful.
she was not just a willing participant. But anyway, we'll keep you up to date on that. It is a major entertainment, sort of double trials here that go with the entertainment world, so we're bringing those to you. Let's get into some more actual content that people can enjoy. Tyler, my most anticipated television show this year is Alien Earth. I'm excited about this. My favorite movie last year was Alien Romulus. That movie blew me away. I loved it. You've got the 4K Steelbook edition, which I'm very jealous of.
Yes, I love that movie as well. I believe it was top 5 for me, if not like top 3 or 4 for me last year. I absolutely love Alien Romulus. Like you said, I bought the 4K Steelbook, and I almost didn't make it out of here with it because there were a few times where I'd just glance over and you were still staring at it.
That's true.
Just embracing all of its beauty. So, yes, I think this is very high up for both of us on this year.
I was really thinking to myself, how do I sneak this out here? But Alien Earth debuts, we've learned officially, it will premiere its first 2 episodes August 12th on Hulu, 7 p.m. Central Time, and on FX and Disney Plus internationally at 7 p.m. Central Time. Will you be watching it on Hulu, FX, or Disney Plus?
Probably FX, because I don't have Hulu, and FX comes with a YouTube TV. I'm still logged into my dad's YouTube TV.
There you go. And if for some reason you get canceled out of it, Mesh is what I hear will help. I actually don't know if that'll help you, but anyway, that's a whole nother separate discussion. I will be watching this probably on Hulu, but the new episodes of the 8-episode season will debut each following Tuesday after those first 2 episodes drop on August 12th. I'm hoping we can react maybe to the first 2 and then potentially to the whole series, at least.
I think that would be the way to go.
That would be a lot of fun. So Alien Earth, I'm hoping it is a banger. I've loved the imagery associated with this, and I really hope it adds to the alien lore and the xenomorphs. I hope they get a chance to shine here. So far in a lot of the advertising, while we don't know hardly anything about this series, the xenomorphs have been the focus of the marketing so far. So good stuff there. For those that are fan of The Bear, which is the intense, anxiety-ridden television show that takes place in a kitchen, The Bear Season 4 will debut all 10 episodes on Hulu starting June 25th. So a little appetizer there for Alien Earth is you'll get all 10 episodes of The Bear launching June 25th there on Hulu. This is a show that I never quite got into. I watched season 1 and it stressed me out too much. I was too stressed watching it.
See, that's why I haven't watched it. And people say, "Oh, I think you'd love it. You should watch it. You should check it out." And I go, "No, thank you. I have spent too much time on kitchen lines and
Yeah.
No, I think I'll get flashbacks and start saying stuff like corner in real life, and I just can't have that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Tyler. I would advise that this could trigger you if you've been in that environment and you're dealing with having to yell, "Yes, chef," after
Yes,
every
chef.
single thing you do.
Like if I binged a couple episodes, I'm going to go hide in a walk-in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that you eased your way into The Menu, which you watched here recently. Like a month ago,
Yeah.
you watched The Menu, and you really liked that one.
Yeah, see, off rip, I would have thought same deal. Like, this is why I shouldn't watch it, because it's, about working in a kitchen, and that's just too real for me. But then Scott Forster watched it, and he said, "Oh, you'd really like this. It's like a dark comedy." I go, "All right," and then I watched it on Prime, I believe, and loved it.
Yes, I was very convinced you would, and I'm glad you saw it. And if you haven't seen it, it is sort of a hidden gem out there that came out in 2022, I believe. Yep. So The Menu, check that one out. A great cast, great ensemble there. Nicholas Hoult is in it. He'll be in Superman this summer, and we'll be reacting to the Superman trailer tomorrow here on the platform. Okay, let's go to this. Tom Hardy says his body is, quote, all falling to bits now.
Yikes.
After all these action movies he's done, saying, and it's not going to get better. I've had 2 knee surgeries now. My discs herniated in my back. I've got sciatica.
Sciatic nerve pain.
Sciatica as well. And I have that, is it plantar fasciitis?
Plantar fasciitis.
Fasciitis?
Fasciitis, yeah.
Fasciitis?
Fasciitis.
I just probably said another bad word.
No, you didn't.
Where did that come from and why? Why? And I pulled my tendon in my hip as well.
Oh.
Are you guys worried about Tom Hardy? I'm worried about Tom Hardy.
I am. I guess his body broke before his spirit.
Wow. What a deep cut. Tyler, you didn't
Thank
even
you.
know we were talking about Tom Hardy today.
No, I
and you
didn't.
just went right into it. Man, that was the line from the trailer, The Dark Knight Rises, that they played over and over again. Which will break first, your spirit
Or your body.
or your body? But anyway,
My favorite was always the, you're a big guy. For you.
for you. I love my favorite is, your punishment must be more severe. That's my favorite.
Sounds good.
So I'm thinking about getting a Bane mask and being Bane for Halloween up here.
That's a good idea. I think the best line in the movie has to be, "Oh, Pittsburgh." Do we still have the button on there?
No, we don't.
don't?
It got erased long before I ever got my hands on it, but it got erased.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It did. But I mean, thankfully now you can just say it whenever you want. But Tyler's on a heater today, and I'm not sure I like it.
Yeah.
He's got an extra level of awesomeness that's going today. He's got gas in the tank that I didn't know was there.
I had to grab an energy drink before the show. It's kicking in.
I can tell. Anyway, there are people who don't know the story. Ryan Brown does a Bane impression, but he basically just talks about the Pittsburgh Steelers during it. Oh, Ben Roethlisberger. It's like, stop.
And if you try to convince him, he'll say, "Well, that's Heinz Field."
It's like,
I saw the movie.
I don't even think he really saw the movie, if I'm being honest. I think he just saw maybe a scene on YouTube or something, or maybe, he saw the trailer. I don't think he saw the movie. But anyway, we won't get into that. Anyway, Tom Hardy falling apart. I'm worried about Tom. I'm worried. I'm a little worried here.
Yeah. I really like Tom Hardy. He's great in things outside of The Dark Knight Rises. I actually really liked him in Venom. He made that movie a lot of fun. There's I believe it's called Warrior, the MMA movie. I really like that one.
Yep.
The Revenant.
Yep. You haven't named one yet that he really stood out to me, and he's in a very small part, but he really stood out to me, and that is Dunkirk.
I haven't seen it.
His acting, just his eyes. He can do so much with just his eyes, and he doesn't really. I don't think Tom Hardy has like piercing eyes like some other performers, but he's a great actor with just his eyeballs. And I don't know how else to describe it, but you can cover up his whole face, give him some eyes, and he can really hit home exactly what he's trying to portray. It's amazing.
His eyes are very expressive.
Yes, very expressive eyeballs. So I found that was the case in Dunkirk as well, when his face is pretty much covered up the entire time. So anyway, Tom Hardy, hang in there. Get a little better. Will we ever see Tom Hardy's Venom meet up with Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
Well, I mean, technically Tom Hardy lost. I guess spoilers for Venom 3: The Last Dance.
I didn't watch it, so this is fair.
So Tom Hardy and Venom become separated by the end of the movie, and you see Tom Hardy traveling around the world, or around the USA, I guess, going to New York and the Statue of Liberty, which him and Venom talked about. And there was like a little post-credit snippet that like hinted towards Venom returning. But, you know, I don't know how that continuity of the Sony garbage universe compares to the MCU where real money is made.
I think my question is still valid even after hearing all that. Will we ever see Tom Hardy's Venom meet up with Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
Yeah, it's still a valid
Okay.
question. I don't even know if that character is going to have anything else, or what they're doing. They set up a bunch of movies with Venom, The Last Dance, that I don't think they're ever going to capitalize on.
There's no way. But I remember Tom Hardy showed up at the end of, was it No Way Home?
Yes.
In the post-credit scene?
Yes, he was drinking at the bar.
And, you know, there's been no payoff.
Well, that's where Venom: The Last Dance starts off at. You got to go see that.
But Tom Holland nowhere around as Spider-Man. That's really
correct.
That's all I care about. Are we ever going to have these two characters merge? Because what is Venom without Spider-Man?
Well, Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be a street-level grounded story, so potential. But I've also seen reports that Mr. Negative is going to be the villain for Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Okay. Brand New Day. I hate that title. I really do.
I'm just glad they got rid of Home because I was sure they were going to go with A New Home.
I would have loved that. I would have loved like you keep it. You've gone for 3 movies with Home in the title, and now you're just kind of abandon it. It's not too late. No. Bring us home with this one. Okay.
What happened to Numbers?
No, Numbers are for lazy people. Okay, let's go to this. This is a nice note. Simon Pegg says he's been sober since 2010. He's crediting the Mission Impossible franchise with saving him from a battle with alcoholism, saying, quote, I credit Mission with rescuing me. It gave me real focus at a time when I needed focus and just had the best time on Ghost Protocol. You also had a great time with Ghost Protocol. It's probably your favorite Mission Impossible movie ever.
It is. And Simon Pegg is one of the reasons for that. Benji is one of the best characters.
He's great.
He's fantastic. Brings a lot of good comic relief. I think his timing is really great in Ghost Protocol, which I think just goes to show that he must have quit drinking because if his timing's better, then he's more clear-headed while he's on set.
You know, people buy tickets for Tom Cruise to these movies. They buy tickets for the spectacle. They buy tickets for Ethan Hunt. But when you get in there and you get nestled in your seat and you get that big tub of popcorn and you see all these things play out, it's really the team camaraderie that makes it feel like connective.
Yeah.
And
Tom
that's
Cruise
the reason.
And Benji breaking into the Kremlin and Ghost Protocol, hilarious.
Great. Ghost Protocol is fantastic. I think it's probably the second best, my second favorite of the Mission series. I really like Mission Impossible 3. I mean, I feel like that was when the actual series started, was Mission Impossible 3. So I'm really excited about that. Ush texts in on the private line here saying Ghost Protocol rules. So there we go. Mission Impossible, is it a movie on your radar? It comes out Memorial Day weekend. Or are you like, you're at the theater, EG, okay?
Take me there.
You and Mikey are at the theater, okay? And he's going, I don't know what to see. You know, what do I do? What do we go with? You're on an entertainment podcast that's extremely popular, EG. You tell me. EG goes, okay, based on my knowledge, there's one of 2 doors we can walk through. It's a pick your picture. Are you ready? You can go Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, or you can go
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch. Which one are you?
Mission Impossible.
You're going to Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Because the factor of Mikey being there?
Well, Mikey's nickname for me actually is Stitch.
So this makes less sense now
It
that
does.
you've given me
As
this
I say
information.
that makes less sense. But I'd rather go see Mission Impossible,
Got it.
if that makes sense.
That makes sense. That's
You've already got Stitch with you.
All right, yeah, he already got Stitch with him.
There you go. That'll work. I got my daughter a Stitch plush,
Cute.
Oh, that's a good
and
purchase.
the problem is my wife loves it as much as my
That's
daughter.
sweet.
So she's like, hand me the plush, please. And my daughter's like, it's mine. And
Get her another one.
well, I could get 2, but then we got too many Stitches around. You know, it's like the one makes it more special.
I mean, I suppose.
Anyway, they both love it, and we're going to bring it to the movie when I take them
Cute.
down to the beach, and we're going to watch it there.
I have seen a line of Stitch plushes where they make it look like Stitch has taken over another Disney property. So there's like a Little Mermaid Stitch. There's
That's
a
cute.
Beauty and the Beast one.
Is there a Peter Pan one by chance?
Let me check real quick.
Look into that.
I feel like I've seen a Peter Pan Stitch one.
My wife's favorite Disney cartoon is Peter Pan. She's a big Peter Pan fan.
Really?
I've never liked Peter Pan. I still don't like Peter Pan.
I
Yep.
love Peter Pan.
There is one?
Yeah, he's
Done.
green. It's
Yeah.
The series of plushes is called Stitch Crashes Disney.
Perfect.
So you can go through the options.
Thank you very much. Tyler on it today.
On fire.
Just absolutely crushing it. I love it. Like Ed Sheeran, you are also perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I wish the energy drink I've been sipping on was a sponsor, so I could shout them out and we can get a bag for it. But they're not.
Well, that's fine. Have you been snorting the energy?
Yeah,
Whatever
what
you've been doing
No,
with the energy
I
drink,
like downed it.
a
I
new
think
flavor?
it's gone.
let's keep that going.
It is a sparkling orange sickle flavor.
Well, good stuff.
Interesting.
I am proud of the energy there. It's good. Okay, this is the main topic for today, and it is Mission Impossible:
Let's
The
hear
Final
it.
Reckoning. It's being called an exhilarating adrenaline rush in first reactions. People got a chance to see it last night for the very first time.
How do we get invited to those?
Well, we have to be in a bigger market.
Okay.
Okay, Birmingham's not going to really have it unless we want to sneak in and watch it with some of the employees who sometimes get advanced looks at these things, but not this early. But here's some of the reactions that I'm going to get to here with Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Film critic Courtney Howard wrote of the film on X, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning rips. Loved it.
Rips.
An exhilarating adrenaline rush for the head and heart, and immersive, awe-inducing, stuntacular of the highest order.
Stuntacular.
Stuntacular of the highest order.
Okay.
Didn't even know that was a word.
Me neither.
McHugh, which stands for Macquarie.
Who?
Tom Cruise, the director of this.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it was just he couldn't use that many characters, so he just
Okay,
called him
noted.
McHugh. McHugh, which stands for Christopher McQuarrie. Tom Cruise and company have crafted the gold standard, a brilliant, bold actioneer for the ages. See it big and loud. That's a pretty big recommendation there.
I mean, I feel like that is, you can't really get better than that.
Well, let's try.
Let's do it, Tim.
The Final Reckoning is whip smart and razor sharp. This
What?
tense 8th entry in one of the most exhilarating franchises of all time is another winner. With sphincter tightening set pieces. Blockbusters do not get much better than this. Cruise and Macquarie nail it. That's journalist and BAFTA member Simon Thompson who wrote that.
Simon was just sitting there with a thesaurus like, I gotta find the right word.
Movie reviews will always slightly make me laugh.
Sphincter tightening makes you laugh?
It's just like the way people describe these, like, rip. What does that even mean? Like, it was rip. That was your first review.
Yeah.
And then it went to stuntacular.
I got more reviews.
Okay, sorry. keep going.
Here we go. Cruise pushes every limit, soaring higher, diving deeper, and racing towards the edge, risking life, limb, and logic in a 3-hour blitz of chaos, precision, and pure adrenaline. It's not just a finale. It's a full-body experience.
Like, this is...
Buckle up, according to Landon Johnson. I want to use the word that I used yesterday in my review. I want to get out of the theater.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah. Jason brings up a good point. Did you say it was 3 hours?
Yes, this is a long movie.
Yikes.
A long movie.
Maybe I'm not
All
getting.
right.
I've heard that this is a movie that could use a good 25 minutes off of it.
Oh, I hate those kind of movies.
I also heard, I've heard this is a movie that could use a good edit, but that
Oh,
it's got
Lord.
everything because this is being billed as the finale of this whole saga.
Is
Yeah,
it going
and I
to
guess-
be, though?
I guess for every stunt Tom Cruise does, he's like, no, that's going in the final cut. Like, I did it.
Maybe. I
Like,
mean,
we're not cutting any fat.
I haven't seen the movie, so I may absolutely say this thing didn't need a cut. I mean, I may be of the opinion like, I love it the way it is, bloated and big, and here we are. I'm talking about the movie, E.G. Gosh.
I just cannot. I just cannot. Okay.
Next.
Anyways.
This one's shorter. This is from Jazz Tankay.
Let's hear it, Jazz.
Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise is truly one of a kind. Loved Final Reckoning. That's it.
Thank
That's
you,
all.
Jazz.
That's a great
To
review.
the point. You know, I have a new segment idea.
What's that?
I think I should find those outlandish movie reviews and have to read them to you guys, and you have to guess the movie that they're about.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I like that.
I kind of like that, but I feel like it's
okay.
going to be a little bit more difficult than you think to
It
gather
is.
that.
But I think it'll be fun seeing you guys struggle
Okay. That could be fun.
while laughing.
Yes. I've got more.
Okay.
I'm almost done. This is the last one. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is an absolutely captivating send-off to the franchise's legacy and what Tom Cruise has given to Ethan Hunt. While the first 30 to 40 minutes is a bit too much of an exposition dump, all the set pieces that follow are unbeatable. That is Matt Minton who wrote that.
I like Matt. That's fine.
So
A 30 to 40 minute exposition dump?
I've heard the first act it drags a little bit.
Oh, are they going to just explain the plot of every movie? Or is that what they're doing?
It seems that way.
I don't like that.
Tyler, from what I've heard, this leaves you soaring when you walk out of the theater. I mean, just like pulse pounding, right? But it takes the whole wind up before you eventually get to that point where it starts to pay off within the movie.
I guess.
Once again,
I've seen mixed reviews as well. So
I'm reading all of these, very excited reviews of walking out of this movie, and I feel like you're less excited now than you were 5 minutes ago.
well, I didn't know it was 3 hours.
Tyler, you go to the movies 180 times a year. You
I
can't.
know.
Don't you? Aren't you excited about a good one?
I mean, I hope it's good.
That's fair.
Okay.
You hope every movie you see is good.
I can't say for sure that it's a good movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm just the hype is building for sure. Tom Cruise, he came out earlier this week and he was saying like, "Hey, I'm going to go to the state of Texas and I'm going to go to a bunch of screenings of this and I'm just going to be popping up randomly. And if you're in Texas, you're going to enjoy seeing me there pop in some of these screenings." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool." It's going to be.
that.
I think it's going to be playing at Cannes Film Festival as well. That's like the next big place it lands. So I'm pumped for that. I've already got my ticket. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I'm making it sort of an outing with some people that I'm really close with, and I'm pumped up
Okay.
about seeing this. So I'm hoping it's good. In total, the Mission Impossible franchise has a lifetime gross of well over $1 billion. The highest earner of the bunch, 2018's Fallout, which is considered maybe the strongest entry in the history of the Mission Impossible franchise. Speaking of Fallout, the television show Fallout has been renewed for a season 3. You may be asking, well, what, season 3? Did I miss season 2? No, you did not. Season 2 comes out this December, but Amazon is so high on it that they've already greenlit season 3.
Wow. How often does that happen?
It happens actually like on some big properties. It happens quite often.
Oh.
Like on big properties. But Fallout was looked at maybe as a little bit of a risk to begin with, and now is looked at as like this big must-see property. And Walton Goggins is obviously as big as he's ever been. He just hosted SNL this past weekend. He was tremendous as the ghoul in Fallout. I was uninitiated into the Fallout universe before seeing the actual show. Tyler knew about Fallout before seeing the show. We both went into it with different perspectives. Our review is up on the channel if you want to watch that, our season 1 review. We both championed this thing as being a huge success, and I'm so excited for season 2.
Absolutely. Me too. Fallout season 1, I think, takes a good episode and a half to really get going. But
Got to catch people like me up.
yes. But once it gets going, it just pays respect to the game in every way they possibly can and does it very well. Nothing is halfway done, half-baked. Every idea feels fleshed out. And the production design, absolutely incredible. The acting from Walton Goggins, like you said, is great. And they just do such a good job building that world and immersing you in it that I want to see how far they are willing to take it in this sort of New Vegas-inspired season 2.
I don't feel like there was a bad casting choice in the lot in Fallout season 1. I really thought everybody was great.
Moises Arias, he pops up as gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Ella Purnell, her character's brother. And it's been a long time since I've seen him pop up on the screen. So I was excited to see him, and he did a very good job as well.
Awesome. Well, I am pumped up for this one, but Amazon really high on Fallout and going ahead and saying, everybody get ready for season 3, even though season 2 comes out later this year. Amazon, meanwhile, has ordered the drama series Delphi. Have you heard about this?
I haven't.
It is set in the gym.
Oh.
Featured in the Creed film franchise. Exact plot details are under wraps, but the show is said to follow young boxers who train at the gym. So I would think Michael B. Jordan, who I believe is a producer on this, is going to be making an appearance as Adonis Creed in this series.
I would expect him to pop up at the very end of the last episode as like...
See, I'm the opposite. I think he shows up first episode to get people hooked, and then maybe shows up again at the end. But
that makes sense too. But I'm thinking, like, you don't really get to see him in any sort of meaningful way in this show. He just sort of pops in to say hello to whoever the main character of Delphi will be. And then at the end, maybe main character is putting his gloves on. He's about to get into the sparring ring. And then you see Donnie walk in.
One person that I would say has a 0% chance of showing up in this series, Sylvester Stallone as Rocky Balboa.
Oh yeah, they've excommunicated him from his entire just sort of child.
Yeah, that's a rights battle that has gotten ugly. So I wouldn't expect Sly at all, but I would for sure expect Michael B. Jordan to pop in there.
He took less money back in the 70s to get Rocky 1 made, and now he's getting pushed out.
Well, it's probably, full circle here. Who directed Creed? Do you remember? Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler just struck a deal where he owns Sinners after 50 years. Do you think that the Sylvester Stallone saga is part of the reason why he is like, I don't want what happened with Rocky with Sly to happen with me with Sinners? Like, I think there's probably a little bit of legitimacy to that theory that he was going to make sure that the rights came back to him in full force and his family, because Sly wants him as much for his family as anybody, and he doesn't have them. So it's interesting that they're going with the TV route here to build out the universe. But I think that's what Amazon's going to do as well with James Bond, right? They're going to build out the universe with television shows. And I just hope that it's more successful than what we've seen with something like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or something where they're just constantly trying to mine this IP, and it's led to really unsatisfying results for the most part. Speaking of Amazon Prime Video, Mr. Beast's reality competition series Beast Games has been renewed for seasons 2 and 3 with Amazon. This was being reported on as a long time as a potentially very litigious show that was produced because of how maybe haphazardly, reportedly, the production was being done with contestants and their health and all that. You can go read all those reports. We're not going to dissect them here. Are you surprised at all that this one is being greenlit for 2 more seasons at least?
A little bit, because also at the time when Beast Games Season 1, it was either in its sort of promo run before its release or had just released. The whole Mr. Beast camp was dealing with a much darker controversy that we won't go into here.
Yeah.
And so, I am surprised with the combination of that plus the reported... safety hazards and just overall poor working and competing conditions that were reported on the Beast Games set. I am surprised that Amazon's willing to take the risk for 2 more seasons.
E.g., would you ever compete in sort of a skills-based reality television show for a grand prize? Would it just depend on the show? Is there one that pops out that you would actually like to go on? Because that grin tells me Survivor.
No, Wipeout.
Wipeout? I was not expecting that.
I used to love Wipeout. That is partially where my humor of people falling comes into play.
Hold on. You would go on that show?
I think so.
You'd be destroyed.
Absolutely. But it would be like the lore behind it.
My tendons would break in half. I had problems. I had a bad nightmare last night, and I walked down the steps in the complete darkness, and there was this gold basket on the steps.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I stepped right on it, and it was made of metal.
Ouch.
So I couldn't bend it, but I almost fell down the steps last night.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, in your dream? Or?
No, I woke up from a bad dream.
Okay, I was confused. I was like, this is a strange dream. Like I had a dream about a raccoon getting in my place, and that was pretty weird. But
No,
you're dreaming about gold Easter baskets.
I had a dream where I was driving a car that I couldn't move the steering wheel. Like the steering wheel locked up. Power steering went out, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was going right for a guardrail. And when I hit the guardrail, I wake up, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I can't go back to sleep. You ever have one of those dreams where you just cannot go back to sleep?
Yeah.
I'm just like shocked. I'm like, oh.
Yes, the dream about the raccoon in my apartment.
So I'm walking down the steps, and there's this gold basket. It's got holes in it, so you can't put any. You can't like. Oh, I want to throw some pins in there. You can't. They'll fall right out. What's the point of having a basket with holes in it? Doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, it's a decorative piece. I'm sure. I'm going to be told. You ladies and your decorative pieces.
Well,
oh, those are decorative pillows. Oh, those are supposed to be decoration.
Yeah.
Oh, don't eat that candle. I'm like, well, it's like it doesn't make any sense.
It does if you want a nice home.
Okay. See, that's exactly the line my wife uses. Don't you want a nice home to live in? And I'm like, I need a chair, a TV, a gaming system, some cold beer in the fridge.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm good. I'm playing full bachelor
We
mode.
have the most decorative studio ever.
Get me a calendar from the local Chinese place so that way I know who to call to bring me food to my doorstep. Tyler.
I feel like growing up, there was just so much. We had a decorative version of everything in the house. It's like, no. Do not, whatever you do,
Use
not
those
use
towels.
those hand towels to dry off. Those are decorative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a decorative.
Don't lay down on that pillow. That's a decorative pillow.
Decorative gold basket with a bunch of holes in it on the steps.
I think decorative just means not functional.
I guess
not
so.
practical.
Anyway, I might have a talking to with my wife tonight about this because she doesn't know about this. She probably heard me fall down the steps.
Yeah.
It was rather loud. When I fall, it makes a lot of noise.
Shakes the earth.
Okay, well, that's a little extreme.
Well, anyways, so
Fee, fi, fo, fum.
No one would do this with short people, but they do it with tall people all the time.
That's so true.
Everyone just lets their, oh, okay, you've been given the gift of being a giant. We're going to make you pay verbally with the tongue lashing you're going to get. I remember in school, people would be like, hey, what's up, Shrek? I'd be like, hey, what's up, jackass? Anyway.
Any hoozles.
It's okay. I have to deal with not being able to touch the ground when I run the board for next round.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. I didn't think that.
Yeah, you don't think
Your
about it.
feet
You wouldn't
dangle?
think about it, would you?
Wow, so much better being in my position. Okay, let's go to this.
Oh,
Hey,
all kinds of wipeout.
I know. I can't imagine anyone would
Hunter in the chat is absolutely right. They do the same thing with short people.
Yeah, but behind your back. I mean, we
No, you can't make short jokes. At
short people are made fun of behind closed
Yeah.
doors.
No, it's to my face, but just over because
Oh, that's funny.
Look,
That was a good one.
I'm freezing this version of Tyler. We're gonna wake him up every day in a cryogenic chamber. It's gonna be like the first 7 minutes of Austin Powers when he goes to the bathroom there.
Would you survive on Survivor? I don't think you would.
So I would do great on Survivor.
I would not.
Minus the fact that it's outdoors. I would do good at the game.
Yeah,
if they ever had indoor Survivor, I'd be like, oh man, let me run that. But it's the lack of food.
The bugs.
Okay, let me put it this way. E.g., I'm going to be a little coarse. Okay?
With me?
With you.
Okay.
If we were on Survivor together, we didn't know each other, okay?
I think we'd be friends.
Okay, maybe. It's not what I'm getting to. Okay, you're trying to break me down before I insult. And that's not going to work because I'm about to insult. If you're getting the same portion of rice that I'm getting on the island,
You're stealing my rice.
I'm not happy.
Well, yeah.
We have to have a fee-fi-fo-fum clause. Fee-fi-fo-fum clause.
Yeah, you got it.
Where I did get that right.
Yeah, you did.
I can't trust my own mouth lately.
What?
Hey, you know who I do trust with my mouth, though? You know who I do trust with my mouth? Alabama Dental Associates. They get the rice kernels out of there for me over at Alabama Dental on Grants Mill Road. Dr. Jeff, Dr. Brian, Dr. Nolan over at Alabama Dental, providing you all sorts of services when it comes to staying on top of your dental health. I used to go into the dentist hoping that I would just survive it.
No.
And now I thrive in it. So much that they go, hey, we have to get the next patient. And I'm like, but wait, this is my home. Let me stay here. There's nothing about it that's like not functional, you know?
Yeah.
And in my home, there's a bunch of decorative stuff. And I don't want the decorative stuff. I want the functionality.
Amen.
At Alabama Dental, you get the functionality. They've got the tools that you need to make sure that your oral health is taken care of. They're at Alabama Dental Associates. They're accepting new patients now and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them with your mouth at 205-956-8977, or you can use your eyeballs and your clicker finger to go
That was close.
to the alabamadental.com website. They look forward to seeing you.
Got through it.
I think everything was good there, right?
Yeah.
I'm worried lately. I think it's the lack of oxygen in the room.
It's kind of cold in here today to me.
You think it's cold in here?
It's a little chilly.
I think for some reason, I'll be back in the production room back there and I'll say things that there's no risk. I get here in this room, risk all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is.
Well,
Appreciate everybody sticking with me, though.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you some rice, though.
Thank you. I just don't feel like that would be fair.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's talk about something that I'm really excited for. I want to get Hunter Bussey's. I actually want to get Hunter Bussey's opinion on this next story.
Wait, let's pause. I actually want to get Hunter.
Yeah. A lot of times I'm like, Hunter, shut up.
Yeah, most
okay?
of the time.
You're ruining this, right? Don't chime in. On this one, I want Hunter to chime in, okay? Because I feel like it's going to be exciting if he hasn't seen this. So we've gotten the first look at Nicolas Cage in the live-action Spider-Man Noir series.
Noir?
Noir.
Noir?
Correct.
Okay. That's a weird name. I don't like it.
Noir.
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 Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we've gotten this first look. I think this looks incredible. When this
Okay.
was first announced, I didn't know how they were going to pull it off. I'm really digging
Pull
the
it off
imagery
with
here.
Nick Cage. That's how.
I guess so. It's a live-action series based on the Marvel comic Spider-Man Noir. The story follows an aging and down-on-his-luck private investigator in the 1930s, set in New York, played by Academy Award winner Nicolas Cage, who is forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. The noir-inspired series will be available, this is very cool, in both black and white and color when it debuts. So
interesting.
you get to choose which one you want to watch.
Which one are you going to choose?
For me, right now, black and white.
Me too.
I mean, I really am going that route. And,
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like it definitely enhances some stuff. What do you think of this image, Tyler? I mean, I want you to, geek out with me here. Or am I getting too excited for what I'm seeing here?
I think you're getting a little too excited a little too early because, I mean, man, I don't know. It's just tough to really trust anything superhero wise coming out right now that is coming out on, how should I put it, on networks and streaming services that aren't the parent company.
Okay, let's play a different game here. I'm not asking about what do you think the series quality will be, but this image quality.
Oh, no, it looks sick.
It's perfect.
It looks awesome.
It couldn't be better. I don't think that it could be better than this.
I mean, if we're just purely talking about design and just, this image, but as a wallpaper or as a T-shirt design, yeah, it's awesome.
I look like I'm wearing a black and white noir outfit right now because I'm in full, basically black and white and gray. But I mean, anyway, I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm trying to make this about this image. I love this image. Now, obviously, I've seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which featured the noir character that we were referring to. And he was probably my favorite character in that whole production.
I liked him when he was playing with the Rubik's Cube. That part was funny. But I think my favorite part, and there was supposed to be a series revolving around this, was John Mulaney's Spider-Ham.
Yeah, no, great. But comic relief.
Best.
Comic relief.
Best.
Okay, best. Anyway, I'm really excited about this. I'm glad that Hunter Bussey's excited for it in the chat, and he says he also plans to watch this in black and white. So there we go. Hunter, good job. You passed this test. Okay, you can go back to your usual self now. Here we go. No, I'm just kidding. I love Hunter. I would, if I could, I would go through Dagobah with Hunter on my back and do a bunch of flips over logs.
Nice.
That's exactly what I would do. So I'd be happy about that. It's a Empire Strikes Back reference.
Okay.
I know that doesn't clear it up for you any, but here we go. I've got one last one.
It sounded like she was trying to like feign interest in it at first.
Yeah.
And then reality hit her and she's like, nah.
That's fair.
Can't do it.
Eventually one day, EG's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm done with you nerds. And she's just going to walk out. We're never going to see her again.
Crazy things have happened.
Here we go.
Potential.
Last one. I don't know if you're able to ever sneak this into trash or anything, but I'd love to get Lance's take on this. But Jude Law and Andrew Garfield are teaming up to be in a series together where they're going to play Siegfried and Roy.
Oh.
And I would love to get his whether he would watch that. It's going to be on Apple TV Plus, which I know he champions.
I'll have it in trash tomorrow because that does sound cool.
Now, will he be able to see? He'll be out on location tomorrow, right? At Regions?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Maybe you want to save it from when he's back in studio. I don't know because I feel like there's some imagery that can go along here with looking at both Siegfried and Roy and Jude Law and Andrew Garfield. On paper, does this work for you, Jude Law and Andrew Garfield playing Siegfried and Roy?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I think it could be exceptional.
They're both fantastic actors, and I mean, you give them some interesting material to work with, and I think they'll do very well with it. We saw just how good Andrew Garfield can be in something like No Way Home, bringing almost comedic relief to the role. And we live in time where he is, just bringing tears to everyone's eyes.
True.
It just depends on the level of material you give him. If it's competent writers, he's going to knock it out of the park.
I think he was ready to play Spider-Man. I don't think we were ready for him to play Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like he's become more appreciated in that role now than he was even when he had the mantle.
Well, I guess it was because he was taking over for Tobey Maguire, which is like at one end of the nerdy Peter Parker spectrum, and then Andrew Garfield is like so far over here into the wisecracking cool Spider-Man territory.
Yeah.
Which I think we appreciate now, but I think that's why it got so much backlash. We overcorrected, and now we've taken a step back to a more happy medium with Tom Holland.
They keep casting like the coolest people in the world to play Peter Parker, who's sort of exiled from his high school class. And it's like, Andrew Garfield would be the heartthrob of the high school class. He wouldn't be the exiled one. Tom Holland wouldn't be some like picked on little nerd kid. He would be looked at as the coolest kid in the class. I mean,
well, what's weird in the Tom Holland Spider-Man version is like, Flash, who is normally like a bully, also kind of nerdy.
Very nerdy.
Yeah.
Very much like
not believable as a bully at all compared to the Tobey Maguire version.
They definitely took a different route there. And you know what? I guess they just have to constantly reinvent these characters and interpretations and stuff. But I don't know. They keep casting like the coolest people in the world to play these kids that are supposed to be beat up. Okay.
Jay has a chat regarding the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Let's go.
Says, Spider-Man is a bit of a nerd. Garfield was too cool for school. But Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, let's go, baby. Best part of the movie.
Yeah. Emma Stone pretty much enhances everything she's in.
Mm-hmm.
Most talented actress working today, Emma Stone. I mean,
she's up there for sure. I mean, I didn't like Poor Things, but as I was sitting there watching Poor Things, I'm thinking, man, Emma Stone's given a hell of a performance here.
You didn't like Poor Things?
It was a bit too weird for me.
Okay.
And I just did not like it.
I know you hated the follow-up to Poor Things.
I did not like Kinds of Kindness.
Kinds of Kindness. I avoided it because of your recommendation.
Yeah, it just fell flat. Like there was one section of the movie that I liked, I thought was pretty good. There was a second section.
What was that, Tyler?
Yeah,
Huh?
wait a second.
Second section of the movie that fell a bit flat.
Oh, when the shoe's on the other foot, it's not so funny, is it? Huh? Fee, fi, fo, fum. Anyway, sorry. Okay.
I could fit both my feet in one of yours.
That is correct, but I'm not into that. You could also hit one button to end our stream. Please don't, because I've got to get to this last thing. But anyway, please. I'm sorry. Kinds of kindness.
Yeah. Kinds of kindness. Kinds of kindness.
Kinds of kindness.
It was made as like 3 separate stories, and I only kind of liked one of them.
Yeah.
The rest of it was just pretty mediocre.
Gotcha. Yeah, I avoided it. No buzz on that whatsoever. It made no money. And had a great cast, but I really did like Poor Things, but the follow-up with the same team didn't get any traction there. I want to go to my favorite basketball team. That is the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
I've been in a love-hate relationship with the Mavericks for the past year. I've talked about the ups and downs. Last night, an epic number 1 draft pick pull by the Mavericks in the lottery. And Cooper Flagg seems to be headed to the Dallas Mavericks unless they somehow fumble this one too.
Which is a possibility.
It's definitely a possibility, but I have tasked EG with being the sports correspondent that she is, the investigative sideline reporter that she is, to give me some fun facts about future Dallas Maverick Cooper Flagg, because the clear number 1 draft pick. The question is, will Dallas stick with the number 1 draft pick or will they trade off that draft pick? We shall see. I want the details on Cooper Flagg, the Maverick, potentially, that I am going to be watching for years to come.
Okay. Starting at number 5. Cooper Flagg loves fishing and hiking.
Really?
Yes. Because he lived in the home state of Maine, the natural elements to him calms him down in between the court and play.
I don't want to potentially jump on a future fun fact here that you're about to get into.
Okay.
But this is the basic fact that almost everybody knows about Cooper Flagg. He played at Duke.
Yes.
Right? And I assume that's not one of your, I'm sure that's not your number 1. Played at Duke. And Duke typically has a team that is very unlikable to a lot of other fan bases, right? Duke is typically looked at as being a team
You love to hate him.
that you love to hate. And I watched Duke this past year, and I really loved the way they played basketball. Mm-hmm. I did. And I don't know if that makes me a bad guy. I don't know if I just like sort of these teams that have this sort of anger about them when they play. I felt like they played a little angry, and I liked it.
Yeah, they kind of were like, if you're going to hate us, that's fine.
And this is not a slip of the tongue. Knipple was on the team.
Yeah.
And that's an actual player.
Actual
That's
player.
not Tim making a goof.
Nope.
Okay? Tim
That is
makes
his
some
name.
goofs every now and then.
I would not go by that if I were him. I'd be like, Knipel.
Okay. Well, he is Knipple.
I feel bad for his wife.
He's a top 5 pick, potentially.
I was going to say, what about like Nopple? I don't know. I don't know if this works.
Anything but Knipple?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like
Look,
anything but that. Like,
If your last name's Knipple, you better play like a badass.
Yeah,
And he
you-
does. He's
yeah.
good. He's good. Anyway, I don't know what that was leading to other than I watched a little bit of Cooper Flagg and Knipple, and I was very excited by
That
their
duo.
team chemistry.
Okay.
Let's continue on with number 4.
Cooper Flagg's hometown has a population of only 3,133 people.
Wow.
And he could be the 3rd NBA player, which assuming he will be, to come out of the state of Maine. Only the 3rd.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's also, is that a double fun fact on
That's
number
a double
4?
fun fact.
You're good at this, EG. You should
you.
do this for a living. This is
Really?
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is exciting. I know this is probably not a fun fact, but there's that commercial that they aired during the tournament where he's at the bingo
the
hall.
nursing home? Yeah. Or the bingo hall.
It's the bingo
Sorry.
hall, but it's full of older
Yeah.
individuals that are playing bingo. And I just found that to be a very
Charming.
charming, fun, because when he wins, he then has to like dap up everybody after winning at bingo, and everyone there's like, oh my gosh, he won something else again. Anyway, let's move on to number 3.
Okay, he has a twin brother named Ace, which naturally had to include us poker minds. And he is committed to the University of Maine, double fun fact, where his mom also played basketball.
A lot of pressure on Ace to live up to the hype there.
Absolutely. But like, imagine your name's Ace.
Ace Flagg?
Ace Flagg. That's awesome.
That sounds like someone who would be in Top Gun 3.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ace Flagg. It sounds like a call sign.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
that's Special Forces Ace
Yeah.
Flag.
I mean, if he yeah, if this all fails, go join the military.
Ace Flagg.
Ace Flagg.
Badass American
Be a
name.
sniper.
Who was it? Who am I thinking of? Rick Flagg in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I immediately thought of Joel Kinnaman in my head.
Joel Kinnaman. I was thinking of Joel Edgerton, and it's not Joel Edgerton.
Nope, Joel Kinnaman. I can understand why you would get those mixed up, but Ace Flagg, it's like, what a name.
Ace Flagg.
Like, we went from worst name to best name. Like, Ace Flagg's an awesome name. Knipple?
Doesn't do it.
Yeah, but Knipple is the real deal.
He is.
Knipple's great.
He is.
Speaking of that, later on this week, hoping you'll show us a little side tid. Get into some bits of tid.
I'll show some tid, but I won't show any Knipple.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It is a family show.
Friendly. Yep.
We are moving on now to, I believe, number 3.
No, number 2.
Well, I thought...
You just said number 3.
No, but number 4 was a double. Maybe that messed me up.
5 was loves fishing and hiking.
Uh-huh.
4 was hometown of only 3,000. 3 was twin brother named Ace.
There was a double in there that...
Yeah, his mom also played. And then 4 was, there's also only 3 NBA players.
That was it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. We've got so many fun facts
I know.
flying. Number 2 here.
Number 2, he was the first freshman in history at 14 years old to be named the Gatorade Player of the Year.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
That's a pedigree.
Yeah, that does not happen.
He plays like both ends of the court very passionately.
Yeah,
He's a two-way player for sure.
agreed.
All right. Number
Okay.
1.
Number 1, his team, not basketball team, but his, circle, donates $5 for every T-shirt they sell to RMHC, Ronald McDonald House, which was my sorority's philanthropy, where they stayed for 109 days when his brother Hunter was born prematurely, and Ace and Cooper were also born prematurely.
Wow. That is a fact that I would not have known without this segment there. So
Pretty
paying
cool.
back to those
Yeah,
that invested
RMHC.
into him.
A great organization.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How tall is Cooper Flagg? Do we know right off the top of our head?
I want to say, I don't want to lie. Let me just say.
I'm going to guess. Let me guess.
Okay.
I'm going to guess 6'8".
I was going to guess 6'7". He's 6'9".
6'9". Okay. So
6'9".
me and Cooper Flagg are the same height.
Yeah.
Not too. Hey, Nico,
I thought you were like 7 feet tall.
I'm 6'9". Nico, if you want to draft me in the first spot, I will play for the Dallas Mavericks, and I'll apologize for everything I ever
You
said
could
about you.
go to the what are those things like? You could go to one of those little events just to get scouted. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't think that would work out too well.
I mean, everyone needs a big man.
That's true.
Can you imagine if you like accidentally got drafted somehow?
I'm worried that I would
What
like.
if you get like a 2-day contract with the squadron or something? You know?
Would you take it?
I would take it. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
And I put my skills out there occasionally,
You
and
just have to throw it to you down low.
I'm just worried I'm going to fall on a gold-plated basket on the way down the steps, and it's going to ruin my entire professional
Maybe.
athletic career. But anyway, I would have to leave you guys, and that would be the tough part. So I wouldn't necessarily take.
You wouldn't have to.
I wouldn't take the multi-million-dollar contract just immediately. I would think about it for a little bit.
Squadron's offering that.
I'm saying that eventually I would have to make tough decisions after
Oh,
I
I got
dominate
you.
on the
How do you
local.
dominate?
I could pull off the double duty long enough here with the squadron, but anyway, I'm not ready to say goodbye yet. Other than to this stream, that's going to end our show today. We're going to be back again tomorrow, 2:00 Central, 3:00 Eastern. Don't forget, if you are a sports fanatic, there's one place you need to go. That's MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.ag, where you can use promo code NEXTROUND for that first-time deposit bonus there at MyBookie.ag. I want to thank EG. I want to thank Tyler. It's been a heck of a conversation today. Appreciate all those who are watching here on the channel, who are subscribed, as well as all those who download our podcast and listen there. Maybe you catch half the show live and you want to catch the other half in the car on the morning commute tomorrow. Check out our podcast. It is a fun time there with the Meltdown, wherever you get podcasts. We will see you again tomorrow right here on Meltdown Live.